Okay, I'm just showing the solutions to my practice test for my rational numbers practice test. This is changing fractions into a decimal. My main advice is your numerator goes inside the division house, denominator's outside. Don't forget your negative. And then when you decide your answers, for example, that 13 can go into 53 times. Notice 13 didn't go into 5, so I didn't put anything right up here. But it goes into 53 times. So the 3 must be placed directly above the last digit in the 50. And then subtract from the 50. Bring down a 0. Okay, so don't forget to be neat about it and keep things lined up, and don't forget your negatives. Now in this case it's a mixed fraction, so just do your division with the fraction portion of it, and then whatever answer you get for that division, add it to the whole number, and again don't forget your negative. Okay, when you write a decimal as a fraction in simplest form is telling you to reduce the fraction if you can. So look at these solutions here. Okay, complete the statement using greater than, less than, or equal to. We've got negatives we're dealing with. Now, if these were positives, you would first get a common denominator, which I did. It's 4 3/8. 4 6/8. Now 4 6/8 is more if they were positive, but keep in mind they're not, they're negative. So this means this one is more into the negative, therefore it's smaller than the other one. Okay, same thing with this one. This one's more into the negative than that one, so it's smaller than that one. Alright, the dog one, well, we have to get common denominators, and then after you get common denominators, you can tell that 46 12/15 is greater than the 46 10/15. So the friend's dog is taller. Okay. Now, this is something a lot of kids get confused with. A negative outside parentheses and a negative inside parentheses. Read it as opposite negative 4.34. So when it's opposite a negative, that means change it to plus. So we're going to end up adding these two numbers, and it's 11.8. Okay, see my other paper for work here? All right. This is number 9. And what you can do is either make this improper, or I've been trying to teach kids to borrow from the whole number, because when we switch it around, you're not going to be able to subtract 7/4 from the positive 1/4. And switching it around is the commutative property. Our positive is greater than our negative, so I'm going to put it in front. So I'm going to take 2 out of it. 2 would be 8/4. 4/4 is 1. 8/4 is 2. So I'm going to take 2 out of it, and I'm going to add the 8/4 to the 1/4. I did that down here. And then I'll subtract the 7/4. So 8/4 plus 1/4 is 9/4. 1 9/4 minus 7/4 is 1 2/4. And then you reduce that. Okay. Now let's look back. This again is the double negative, so you end up adding these. And you can just see my work here for your solutions. These are two negatives that are going to get combined, plus another negative. So basically you're adding the numbers and keeping a negative in front of them, combining two negatives. Okay, second page. Okay, a decimal divided by a whole number, and remember the first number listed goes inside the division house, the whole number outside. Okay, so I show how to do that there. This is a negative fraction divided by a negative fraction. It becomes positive. And by the way, when you have a negative divided by a positive, your answer is going to come out negative on this one. But remember, negative divided by negative comes out positive. Okay, so, and when I look at this one, where I've got 3 different fractions that are going to get multiplied, I first determine how my answer is going to come out with negatives and positives. I've got a positive, a negative, and a negative. Now, when you get more than 2, 5, 10 digits, you're multiplying, whatever, then add up how many negatives you have. If it ends up being an even number of negatives, it's going to be positive. If it ends up being an odd number of negatives, it's going to be a negative. Okay? This 21, I am showing the work right over here. And the answer, I don't know why I stuck that negative there. I think I put my negative first and then I put it again when I did it with the pen, but it's negative 6.3. Okay. 22. How many 3/4 ounce packages of cream cheese can be made with 12 ounces of cream cheese? So you have this big blob, 12 ounces of cream cheese, and you're going to put it in packages. So what is that? That's dividing. You're going to divide it up. So you take your 12 ounces, put it over a 1, and divide by 3/4. And remember, dividing fractions can be fun when you flip and multiply the second one. So we're going to change this to multiply and flip this fraction to 4/3. We end up, it makes 16 packages of small packages of cream cheese. Okay, find the perimeter. Well, you have to remember what perimeter means. It means distance around the outside edge. So you're going to add up the lengths of these sides. So I show first getting common denominators, and I chose eighths as my common denominator, and then I show adding up all the sides here, and it's 30 and 6/8. Well, then you need to reduce it back to the lowest fraction form, 30 and 3/4. And then the last one, a 15.5 gallon tank is 2/5 full. How many gallons will it take to fill the tank? Well, my first step was to figure out if it's 2/5 full, what fraction of it do I need to fill it? I take 5/5. 5/5 would be a full tank. Minus how much was in it, 2/5. I'm going to need 3/5 of a 15.5 gallon tank. Of is times. So that word of helps me to know what to do. And I changed this to a fraction since I'm dealing with a fraction here. Or you could have changed your fraction to a decimal. Either way would have worked. But I changed this to a fraction. Then I made it improper, 31/2. And I times it by what I need, my 3/5. 3/5 of 31/2 is 93/10. And when I change that to a mixed fraction, 10 goes into 93 9 times with 3/10 left over. So I need 9 3/10 gallons to fill it. Okay, hopefully you can prepare for test retakes using this as well and study a little harder. Thanks. Have a great day.